Good evening, Daytona Beach. Welcome to the July 2nd, 2025 meeting of the Daytona Beach City Commission. We're both happy and delighted to have you with us tonight. Madam Clerk, may we please have a roll call?
Commissioner Henry? Commissioner Reed?
Here.
Commissioner Paris?
Here.
Commissioner Strickland?
Here.
Commissioner May?
Here.
Commissioner Cantu?
Here.
Mayor Derek L. Henry.
Here. We will now have our invocation, which will be led by Commissioner Reed, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Commissioner Cantu.
Let the young people enter. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that's within me. Bless his holy name. Let us pray. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Two small words that mean so much. For all that you've done for us, all that you're doing, and all that you shall do, Lord God, we say thank you. You've been so good, so very good. Lord, as we enter into another opportunity to make decisions on behalf of the city, we ask you to lead us and to guide us through this process. Help us to make the best decisions that we can possibly make on behalf of our citizens and on behalf of our visitors. Let us be able to rest tonight because we know that we've made those best decisions. As we enter into a holiday season, we pray for those who come to our city that they would leave the same way they came, in one piece. We pray for our citizens as we celebrate this 4th of July, and we pray for all of those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, either by giving their lives or still serving our country. Lord, we just thank you for being our God. We ask that you would continue to protect us and put a hedge of protection around this city, particularly since we're now in hurricane season. We've had a lot of thunderstorms, and we know you've got to have rain in order to appreciate the sunshine. But we ask, Lord God, that you would remember us in the midst of the storm. And now we give you all the glory, we give you all the praise and all the honor. In the mighty and matchless name of Jesus, I say, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now move on to item number 4A, approval of the minutes of the June 4th, 2025 City Commission meeting.
So moved.
We have a motion from Commissioner Cantu and a second from Commissioner Strickland. Do we have any questions or comments? All right, all those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those who are in opposition, same sign. This motion carries 7-0. We'll now move on to our agenda approval. If there are any changes, our city manager will address them.
Yes, Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, we're asking to add item 8J, Public Works, Volusia County Housing and Urban Development, Transform 386. However, I do want Andy Holmes to come forward because Commissioner Cantu and Mr. Holmes serves on a subcommittee that has been moving this item forward. And so I wanted you all to get information on this particular item before it is actually approved on the agenda, because these are things that they've been working on from the subcommittee that Commissioner Cantu serves on your behalf, and Andy as the staff liaison. So before it got on the agenda, I wanted you all to be aware of it.
And before Andy comes up, I'd like to do a brief presentation on it from the county.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
You can go ahead and put it up. Thank you. Okay, so as Mr. Feature stated, that I serve on the Storm Mitigation Flooding Subcommittee on behalf of the mayor who appointed me. Every month we have a meeting. Our last meeting was June 13th. Approximately 16 cities, not all of them participate, but most of them. And the Transform 386, the CDBGR Action Plan, Hurricane Milton. December of 2024, Congress appropriated $12 billion in housing and urban development and the CDBG-DR funds for 2023 and 2024 disasters. What is the CDBG-DR? You move the slide. Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery, funding source, address, unmet needs, long-term recovery, and mitigation. The CDBG-DR allottification, $133.5 million total for Volusia County, 116.1 million allottification for unmet needs, and 17.4 for allottification for mitigation. The funding requirements, 15% of the CDBG-DR funds are required to be used for mitigation efforts and I can't even read my own thing, in minimum. The MID, which is is the community, MID. I've lost my notes, sorry. The funds must be used in most impacted and distressed areas, which all of Volusia County is. They have 6 years to spend the CDBG-DR funds once the grant agreement is signed. Volusia County Action Plan timeline is right there. The Milton Action Plan development. Volusia County developed an action plan detailing how the county intends to use the CDBG-DR Milton funds, following similar process they used for the Ian Action Plan. The CDBG income limits, at least 70% of the funds must be used to benefit low, moderate income person. Can you move the slide? Move it again. Okay, and then you can move it again. Now the CDBG funding is intended to address long-term recovery needs that still remain after all other assistance have been exhausted. That's including private insurance, FEMA, SBA, and private loans. Unmet needs survey, the county did a survey, over 500 responses to the survey were submitted, and the project rankings is up there above. Unmet needs assessment, unmet housing needs. Then they also, the unmet infrastructure needs. You can go to the next slide. The action plan proposed budget, which is on our item tonight, 8J, which the buyout program is going to be about $20 million. And you can go to the next slide. The buyout versus property acquisition. The buyout, Volusia County will provide a resolution to all cities requesting approval, a partnership, and transform 386 buyout program. Residents must meet the 80% LMI, which is low income, moderate low income. Property must be in the 100-year flood plan. Cities will give authority to the city manager to approve the parcel and accept responsibility to maintain it. No development will ever be allowed on that, only green space and stormwater. The property acquisition must be part of the city's infrastructure application. Owner does not have to be part of the LMI, and constrained due a 30% non-LMI allowable expenditures. You can go to the next one. There's a QR code down below, which I'll share with the rest of the commission. And that QR code is where you can go read more. And right now the county has an application portal that's coming soon on there, which you can keep up with that and give that out to your residents. The county also, I was told, is going to do some community meetings and also some meetings with all the elected officials as well regarding this. This buyout program, I think, will be very beneficial to Daytona Beach.
Thank you, Commissioners. Andy Holmes, Assistant City Manager. Commissioner Cantu has covered the whole thing, I think. I don't have to say hardly anything. Just will clarify that the what's before you tonight in this agenda item is approval of the resolution for the buyout program only, the $20 million portion. And that is for the county to purchase homes that are in the floodplain, single-family homes. The sellers have to be willing, and we have to agree to assume maintenance of the lot after the house has been removed. So we think, I totally agree with Commissioner Cantu. This is a great thing, great opportunity for the residents that live in the floodplain that don't have a lot of choices as far as what to do. So I wholeheartedly recommend it.
Can I ask a couple of questions?
Yes,
Yes,
of
absolutely.
course.
So either maybe Commissioner Cantu or whichever, right? So can you just go back to the slide, please? I was just checking through this frantic. There was one slide that talked about something about FEMA, insurance, something about this early
Yeah.
on. Can we go
That's-
back to that, please?
It's a duplication of benefits.
Right there.
Right there.
What does this mean?
You have to exhaust all, everything, insurance, private insurance, FEMA, SBA, and private loans before you can qualify.
So does this mean that I must have gone through a process of, just to be clear, I must have tried private insurance, I must have applied for FEMA and maybe been denied or given some money, I must have applied for SBA, given money or denied, I must have applied for a private loan and then denied, and then my final recourse. Do I have to show documentation of all of those things?
No, what it means is if you've gotten money from any of those other sources,
Okay.
that money cannot be duplicated with this. You can't get paid twice.
Okay, I'm with you. So it should be like an aggregate total. Each piece kind of adds. I think this is like the final piece. If you need a little bit extra, it's a little bit extra.
If somebody has received, somebody with a home that they want to have the county buy out has received an insurance payment from their flood insurance, for example, and they haven't used it to fix the house, then that has to become part of the settlement.
Okay, so 1 second. So if I'm selling my house and I did get insurance, that insurance funding goes with the house when I sell. If I got $100,000, I turn over the $100,000 that I got along with the house.
Yes.
And if I spent some of it, I have to make up the difference, let's
You
say.
spend some of it in fixing the house, you don't have to make up the difference.
But if I just have the money, I have to turn the money over. So you're not double dipping.
That's correct.
Okay.
But you have to show proof, correct?
Yeah.
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 I
Okay.
mean, if somebody fixed or spent $50,000
That's one thing. But if
fixing their
I get the
house,
check and I haven't done it yet because I've been waiting, I've got to turn over the check.
correct.
Okay. Other thing is, how do we notify residents apart from each commissioner? Because we know our areas that are floodplains. I know mine right now in Zone 3. Commissioner Reed, we all know where this is, right? We all know. So do we go to our residents ourselves? Does the city have a plan to let people know?
I've spoken with our redevelopment staff, and they're willing to do that neighborhood interaction.
Okay, what does that mean?
Plus the county is going to have some neighborhood meetings as well, to try to get the word out.
Okay,
The county is setting up meetings.
They are.
right.
Through.
So that's the
And
resident.
then also meetings with elected officials.
Right. So, but we're going to do a door-to-door campaign in the areas we know are affected. Okay. Okay. And how many people do we think it's countywide? First come, first
Countywide,
serve.
There's, I'm going to say only $20 million. If you do a little quick math, that's probably around 60 homes. that could be
That's
purchased. So
How many,
it's-
Andy?
But it's a
60.
start.
You said 60.
I mean, there's no number limit on it, but when the money runs out, they're done.
And as Andy was saying, it's a start that they're hoping that we'll continue to do this in other areas. And that's one of the reasons of trying to get this move forward with the resolution so our residents are
Okay.
aware of
Can-
this process.
Can we go up to the one that shows priorities? I think you had a slide about priorities. I don't know where that was. Anything for seniors first or veterans first or anything like that?
What
Families?
they told us in Monday's meeting is that it's going to be income is going to be the
Income based.
priority.
Okay, so can we go back
So
to that?
the lowest
piece?
income
Low
will get
income,
the highest
a moderate
priority.
low income.
Yeah, it has to be moderate to low income, but they said the lowest income will be,
So that gets
highest
first
priority.
priority. So that maybe might mean seniors. That maybe might mean seniors.
could
Okay.
be, but age, it was not mentioned as a criteria.
It could be seniors,
I got a
Now,
call.
the property,
acquisition.
actually, thank you. That is not going to be moderate low income.
Right, that's a different pot of money. That's not the 20 million. That's for infrastructure projects, stormwater projects, and they
That's
will
gonna be for
assist.
most impacted.
Yeah, they will assist in purchasing the property needed to do the project. So, but that's not, there's no income limits associated with that.
So,
But that's not what's.
So they will help us purchase the property to do an infrastructure.
They will purchase the property. If we identified a spot where you'd want to have a detention basin, we thought would be beneficial, they would purchase the property as part of that project if the project was approved.
yeah, that's the one
And
I was,
all Volusia County is part of NID.
Yeah.
not a lot. It's
Yeah,
only,
I got a call regarding this over the weekend, so the word is getting out. They knew about Monday's meeting.
Yep.
And they know that they're planning a meeting with the county.
okay.
So the word is starting to spread from folks who live on Cottle Circle.
Because I've got people in Palmetto also who get flooded like all the time, and
It's all
I'm not
right
sure
there
they're in the
together.
loop.
So we need to jump on it.
Yeah.
And when I send this over, that QR code, you can follow their website, so you can follow when it opens up the portal.
Okay.
Huh, okay.
This is great news and good work. I'm glad that it's been done expeditiously. And I appreciate you working on this and serving on that committee as well, helping to bring it out.
By the way, when are we starting the little information campaign just to let people even know about the scanning or getting their documents in order?
After
When are we
we
starting
vote on
that?
it
As soon as the
Tonight.
commission approves.
Oh, okay, sorry,
Let's
thank
get
you.
voting.
Thank you.
And redevelopment is ready to go to work.
And also, we're asking to remove item 11A, the City Manager's Office Economic Development Bike Week, Biketoberfest Master Plan Guidelines, to be brought back at a future meeting. Those are the two changes.
I move to accept the agenda with the said changes.
I
Second,
thought we're accepting the consent agenda.
No, these were the changes. I just wanted you all to do the presentation, let everyone know about the changes. So
But the bike week is on the.
we asked for it to be removed.
Yeah, but it's not on the consent agenda. We're approving the consent agenda,
No,
correct?
no, you're approving the
Changes to
Oh,
the
the changes.
agenda.
Okay,
Yeah.
but, okay.
Okay. All right.
You have a motion?
All right. A second. Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those in opposition, same sign. This motion carries 7-0.
That's great news for those homeowners.
It is.
Okay, we have no presentations tonight,
Thank you.
so we're going to move on to the citizens' comments. And during this time, citizens have the opportunity to address the city commission on any item on the consent agenda. And we have no speakers, Mr. Mayor.
John isn't here. Hope everything's okay. Okay, all right. Do we have a motion?
For the consent agenda.
Yeah.
So
Motion.
moved.
All right, we have a motion for the consent agenda and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
aye.
Those opposed, same sign. I thought I turned that thing off. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, we're going to move on to section 9, which is our
Mike.
public hearings and quasi-judicial hearings. Item 9A, Growth Management and Planning Department, Public Use Permit, Mobile Food Distribution and Related Activities. This is a resolution public hearing. A resolution approving a public use permit to allow the Volusia County Health Department to provide for mobile food distribution and related activities on properties located at 421 South Keach Street and 1845 Holtzum Back Drive, subject to conditions and providing an effective date. And due to an advertising error, they're requested to continue the item until July 16th, City Commission meeting.
Motion to continue.
Second,
We have a motion to continue
Yes.
and a second. We have any other questions or comments? All right, all those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, we're going to move on to section 10, which is our introduction of ordinances. Item 10A, Growth Management and Planning Department, 660 Mason Avenue, Plan Development, General PDG, rezoning. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning map of the Land Development Code to rezone 2.33 plus or minus acres of property located at 660 Mason Avenue from BA Business Automotive and SRF 5 Single Family Residential to PDG Plan Development General, approving the 660 Mason Avenue Plan District Agreement to bring existing development into compliance and allow for commercial or multifamily uses, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute the agreement, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission? We do have Patrick Kennedy here on behalf of the applicant.
I do, Mayor.
Okay.
I just wanted to see if we could all take a look at the permitted uses in the PDG. The three specific items that I'm considering that we remove would be multifamily housing, liquor or package stores, and smoke and cigar shops. And
Patrick Kennedy, I'm here on behalf of the applicant. My address, 126 Fiegel Avenue, Pomona Park, Florida. And you were asking about three specific uses, but I don't know if I heard them all.
okay, the first one was multifamily. Second is liquor or package stores, and the third would be smoke and cigar shops.
Yeah, well, the original intent of this PUD was to try to bring the back 100 feet to be consistent with the front 200 feet, which is already zoned BA zoning, which allows those uses plus many others. And we got rid of several of the uses that BA zoning did allow, but we wanted to keep as many of those as possible to try to retain some of the property rights he already had on the front 2/3 of the property. I can tell you right now, there's no current plans for multifamily or a smoke shop or the package, but he wanted to leave those options open because he already had them for most of the property. So.
Would he be amendable to changing them? The only reason why I ask is because behind this location is single-family homes.
Correct.
And with these type of uses, we have a lot of calls for, public safety, nuisance issues. And I know that we're trying to create, a better quality of life for the residents here and the type of businesses that we want to bring in. So I don't know if anybody else feels the same way or.
So I think it's fine if I can to, make that request of the applicant. This is first reading and we still need to reserve next meeting for the quasi-judicial hearing. So if I were the applicant, I think based on the discussion tonight, I would be expected, and you should expect the applicant at the public hearing next meeting to discuss the merits and their willingness to do that. But it's certainly fair to make that comment that you made at tonight's meeting, Commissioner.
And I'll have that conversation with him. Obviously, I don't want to answer for him without him being here. I will say that part of the development agreement requires an actual wall on that north side between Hibiscus and the property, and landscaping on the residential side of the wall. And it will be, that whole property will be secured from any kind of traffic going that you currently see cutting through and driving through the right-of-way onto Hibiscus and they won't be able to get there from center either. So the only access will be to and from Mason. So that will limit some of those concerns you raised, but certainly I'll bring up with my applicant and see if those are issues he really wants to hold on to.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I want to commend you for raising these questions because they, in my opinion, are most appropriate. And I look forward to some response from the applicant.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you.
I'm glad they're trying to do something with this building. It's been sitting there for quite some time, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Okay. Thank you.
The public hearing and final action will be on July 16th.
Whose zone is that? I don't, we've changed. Is that Commissioner Strickland's zone? It's the old bowling alley. Used to be my zone. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, we're going to move on to item 10B. Growth Management and Planning Department, Standards for Specific Principal Uses, Land Development Code Text Amendment. Is an introduction of ordinance on first reading and ordinance amending Land Development Code LDC Article 5, Section 5.2.b 18 and 5.2.b 24 to clarify kitchen equipment requirements for establishments serving alcohol and to remove regulations prohibiting outside advertising or signage for accessory uses to a hotel or motel, repealing all ordinance or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission?
All right.
The public hearing and final action will be on July 16th.
That's it, isn't it?
And yeah, the administrative item was pulled, so that will be our final item, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we'll move on to Commissioner Henry's commentary tonight.
Have a wonderful and safe 4th. See you at the parade.
Looking forward to celebrating the 150th birthday of Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune. Have a wonderful 4th of July.
I'm not going to be that short, but
It's okay.
just a reminder, we have our storm guides. They're available. Don't panic, Ken. Our storm guides are available at DaytonaBeach.gov. It's not DaytonaBeach.com, DaytonaBeach.gov. And we also encourage everybody to sign up for the emergency notifications on our website and also on the county's website at volusia.org. I'm looking forward to the 4th of July parade. It's one of my favorites. I'm also hosting, I guess, my first event with the Halifax Sailing Club and also the Firefighters Union at Bethune Point Park to come out and discover the park. That's going to be on July 12th from noon to 3 p.m. The Halifax Sailing Club is right next door, so they will be providing information on what services they have because we do subsidize that property. And also, there will be a water slide, some hot dogs and drinks. And if anybody knows anyone from the skate park, can you please invite them? I'm going to try to get in touch with them also because I'd like them to come and hopefully we could get some extra skaters out there. The other thing I wanted to bring up is that I went to see Formula One with Brad Pitt. And let me just tell you, Daytona Beach made him look so much better looking. They did a great job at representing Daytona Beach, even though it was in the beginning of the movie, but it was definitely our beach. It was definitely the Speedway and all of the excitement of being part of Speed Week. It was really good. So I suggest you guys go and see it. Then the other thing I wanted to talk about was Bike Week. I know that we pulled it. I just want to make sure, which is really important, to get how much the event is costing us, because I think that's still a big decision making on how we move forward and negotiations that are going to happen and the guidelines. And also, I just wanted to say to everyone, have a happy 4th of July. And don't forget about your pets. Keep them safe. Thank you.
I don't really have anything to say much, but I would like to ask a question of all the other commissioners. Have y'all had anybody that has driven down A1A since FDOT started that fiasco over there that's happy with it? You've had people say they were happy with it? Nobody is. No, it's crazy. If you haven't driven down it, check it out. And we don't have anything we can do about it except sit here and complain to each other. So anyway, but it's really kind of a mess, and several businesses are very upset about it as well, which rightly so. It affects their traffic getting in and out. With that, happy 4th of July, and I'll see y'all Friday morning.
I think DOT is actually having a meeting with that business as well.
Steve's.
Yes.
It's
But-
if you down in the just north of the core tourist area there, just north of University, is where it starts stopping people from being able to turn across without making a U-turn. You have to make a U-turn and turn around and go back to get into some businesses where there's a lot of crossovers down in that core area where you can get across, except right there in front of the Hilton. But it's a mess, and I think it's going to continue to be a mess for a while.
I actually will note your comments to them as well for you.
Yeah. I believe you're correct. They are going to visit not only him, but revisit. It's a lot to, it's only so much they can do, but I think it's conceivable that they may be able to do some things to maybe make it a slightly better. But certainly it's outside of our control. But certainly we've been in contact and trying to get them to do what they can. So, yes,
Mayor,
ma'am.
may I? I'm sorry, Commissioner May. I just want to add, FDOT sends out letters and they have a lot of community meetings on what's going to happen. So it's very important to attend these meetings. I understand a lot of people maybe can't, but at these meetings, this is when is the time to discuss with them if there's any issues. But they are meeting with him. But if you do get a letter or you're made aware of a public notice that a meeting is happening, just please try to attend.
It's difficult for a business to know how something is going to impact them, and I do believe that some of these folks were in attendance. But when you talk about some of the objectives, it's basically to slow the traffic down. You end up narrowing the street. There's just things that they sound good sometimes on paper, and the intent is certainly good, just that the outcome may not be as positive as we had hoped. Not may not. It has not been.
Didn't we have a similar issue on ISB when FDOT was doing it by the Black Pearl, turning left into Black
that's
Pearl?
right.
And how did they correct that? I'm not sure they did. Do you
forget
recall
that. I
that?
think they
They
did.
tried to work through it though. Yeah.
They're actually trying to work through this right now too,
Sure.
so we'll
Okay.
see if something changes. I mean, you all know DOT does what they want to do.
We all know.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. In some ways, we're always happy to see them come, most ways, but sometimes you get a situation like this.
So I just want to say, Daytona Beach, we do a lot of things. I'm looking at our calendar, and I try to keep straight. I try to show up for, at least 45 minutes to an hour when I go somewhere. But I want you to keep in mind, these are all events that we sponsor as a city, right? We have a 4th of July, but then we also have our band shell events, right? Then the following week, we also have our Summer Fun on the Run, and that's for commuters and families, another free event. Then we also have Commissioner Paris's Bethune Point, and then we have Commissioner Reed's Daisy Stocking Park right after that. Then after that, we have our an event on Main Street. So we're actually trying to hit all parts of our community and provide events that they can attend in the community, but there's so many free things that it's a fantastic thing we're doing. So hopefully people will participate and enjoy themselves. So happy 4th of July.
Don't forget Aqua Zumba and line dancing.
That's right. That's right. That too. So we even have a line dancing now on the 4th Friday at Dickerson, and then we have Aqua Zumba during the week, right? Is that free?
Yes.
Fantastic. Oh, very good. Very good. And I like that it's all music. So I'm still very much on bringing some more cultural events. So kind of look for that in the upcoming future as well. Thank you.
okay, I just have a couple comments. I know I'm receiving a lot of calls, and I know Councilman Matt Reinhardt as well. He lives a couple neighborhoods over from me. And regarding, we have the bike path on Bevel Road from Clyde Morris to Williamson. And there is no lighting over there. It is completely dark. I think Commissioner Paris brought it up before as well. Well, originally DOT had it, they were going to put in lighting till they got the bill and found out it was going to be around $276,000. And so they decided they weren't putting in the lighting. Well, I found out that the secretary, Gerard Perdue, from the Florida Department of Transportation, was going to be in town. So I called Matt Reinhardt and asked him to go with me to have a meeting with the secretary, and we convinced him to pay for the entire lighting project over there. So it has been paid for, but now we've been waiting for FPL for a while now. So I just want the residents to know it is in the works. They are doing permitting right now. There's a lot of pole work, I guess, and that's estimated to be done by October of this year, October 25th. And then the lighting project is estimated to be done between November and December. So I hope that helps you, Commissioner Paris, as well, because I know you probably are getting the same complaints. But they did totally fund it, so I'm very happy to hear that. Yes, the 4th of July parade is on Friday, and I hope you all attend. We're having the ceremony at 9 o'clock over by the clock tower, and then the parade will go down Main Street. There was another thing I wanted to talk about as well. You did see that the police training facility for the fire range got vetoed by the governor, which we were asking $750,000 for that. We have not had a training facility for a while, and we're a pretty big city. Is there any way that we can start looking at our budget and budgeting that $750,000? We have the property. I mean, we really need a facility, because I know that when they have to do training, they have to communicate with the sheriff to share their facility. So, I mean, safety should come first in our community. So, I mean, do I have the support of you guys to look at this?
I don't know. I'm always willing to look at anything, but we are at a point where we're about to have to, we're entering negotiations for contracts, and you know,
I
things are
understand
tight.
that too, but I'm sure this ain't part of the contract, but I don't know.
It's
But-
not, but the
right.
point is of our budget.
I
you know,
understand
and
what you're
it's-
saying,
yeah.
but I mean, for safety for our residents, this is something that concerns me, that we do not have a facility, and we're a pretty large city now.
I agree.
And so I think it's something that we really need to sit back and look at and try to budget, because we can budget for a lot of things. I mean, and this is something that's a safety problem, I think.
Might be a long-term budget, right? Not that you're suggesting we start right away in terms of, hey, let's go ahead and put that money there now, but you're saying let's start a fund going where yearly we
Correct.
maybe put in some money.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
So,
And can we also find out how much the total costs, what it's around? Because I know that we only,
Yeah, that
well,
was only
had-
a
they had
portion.
asked
well,
for
they
more.
asked the state for 750, so I think I have a copy of that actually, but I'm sure Mr. Fiacher can send that over too, what we sent in to the state. But because we have the property, I mean, so, and I'm sure they might have some impact fees and whatever else. So I just think we need to start looking at that and trying to get a training facility for them. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about, the next thing was the city auditor. I'm sure you guys read the emails, so I'm going to pass this down, if you pass one down to everyone. When you receive it, the second tab on this that you have is where what was our final offer. And actually, he didn't take our final offer. So there is 3 options here. And one of them, if you read option 1, he was happy to accept the current salary and benefits afforded to the county auditor. And you can read the rest of it. And I think, Mr. Gross, did you call HR over at the county?
Yeah, and the reason why is because his email, Mr. Belich's email indicates that he would want to have the associated benefits. It's not clear whether he means the benefits that we had offered in our offer or the county's associated benefits. We would have some limitations on our ability to provide the same exact benefits. We have a different healthcare insurance, you know, that kind of thing. But I can tell you, based on a discussion with the county's HR director, what the county internal auditor currently makes and some of the more significant fringe benefits that are included in that, if you'd like me to proceed. So
Yes, please.
the county auditor's current salary is $159,671. The county, like the city, participates in Florida retirement system. Now, in the county's system, the internal auditor is considered senior management service. Senior management service, the contribution rate on the part of the employer is a lot higher, and the employee receives a better benefit. My understanding previously from discussions with Mr. Sexton, who's not available tonight, is each local agency that participates only has so many employee slots for senior management services. And again, my understanding is that Ours are currently filled to capacity. At one point, I think what Mr. Sexton has suggested is that we could include in a contract when and if
One open.
a senior management position opens, we could contractually commit to give that to them. But we couldn't give them senior management now because we have our allotted maximum under the state statute. For the county internal auditor, there's a car allowance of $300 a month. It wasn't clear whether that position receives a cell phone. The county doesn't do cell phone stipends like the city office for some of its employees. Instead, any employee who needs a cell phone literally gets a cell phone from the county. That doesn't run through their HR director. So I didn't know, and I can't tell you whether that would be included. Obviously, the county has different health insurance than we do. They have some health insurance like benefits that we don't offer, such as, I think cancer insurance and critical care insurance. We would not, be able to do that because we have our own health insurance contracts. So some of that would need to be clarified if that was the option that
So we would have to,
you decided to pursue.
you're saying we would have to provide standard city benefits?
Yes.
Okay. And then you had option 2. He said a base salary of $165 with 15 weeks of severance if the city terminated by contract without cause, and it goes on. But we don't know what level of benefits he's correct.
Right.
He's talking about.
My assumption from this is that this is basically a counter to your offer, and baked into that would be acceptance of all of those aspects of the city's offer, except that the salary would be $165,000, and instead of $155,000, and instead of a 10-week severance, it would be a 15-week severance. But again, this would require clarification, and certainly if you decided to move forward,
And
we
then-
could get that clarification.
Thank you. And then option 3, a salary of $191 without no additional benefits. That's something I've been told that we cannot provide.
Right. I mean, any employee has to be put on the Florida retirement system. And as you may know, Mr. Sexton is currently out of office. I was able to have a brief conversation with him. We're not sure if it's possible to waive medical benefits as part of this contract. An employee, once employed, could waive medical benefits, but it may not be able to be done through a contract. So even with the 191 at a minimum, there would be Florida retirement system and presumably health insurance.
Okay. So my question is, we gave him our final offer, and I'm sure you've read the emails as well, everyone has. So some of the options that he gave us, we would need clarification. So do we want to stick to the final offer, or do we want clarification on option 1 and option 2? Because he would like to come and be on Zoom. Am I correct on that?
He'd asked if he could have further discussions with the commission via Zoom meeting. That's correct.
Collectively or individually?
Collectively.
Well, how much does the county person make right now? $159,000?
$159,671.
It's really not that much difference in the option 2.
Well, option 2 is not that much difference. But it's not specific enough as far as the other things that he would require. That's only telling us the base salary,
He wants more severance
which
on there too.
47,596 in severance
Okay.
if he gets terminated. That's close to $50,000. We're back pretty much where we started at the beginning of the bargaining.
Assuming
And we gave
that
him 10 weeks when we bargained.
assuming that the
That
intention,
is what we offered our last
But so you're offering 5 more weeks.
assuming that Mr. Belichew's intention was basically in response to our offer, he would want 5 more weeks of severance and $10,000 more as a starting salary, I think. But again, we'd have to get clarification, and just
Wait
so
a
you
minute.
know,
Say that again. I didn't hear
well,
the end.
that baked into his description of option 2 is that it's, these are the differences between your final offer and what he wants. He's basically asking, I think, for our final offer, but with a higher salary by $10,000 and 5 more weeks of severance. I
So
think
he is asking basically for the same thing. He's just changing the number.
he's
He's just putting the money in different areas.
well, he
Auditor.
yeah.
No, he's putting the money in different areas.
Yeah,
he's just,
like in severance,
Correct.
he's just switching the money over to severance, or switching the money over to 5 additional weeks, $10 more thousand here.
Let's be clear, severance is not salary.
I understand that.
So that's not the same.
It's close enough
Okay.
to me.
Was he open to that option 2? Was option 2 his suggestion?
All of these were his suggestions. And let me just
Okay.
say, one reason why we don't have more clarification is at the last meeting, you made a final offer. I did not want to contact Mr. Bellichew unless I knew that you as a group wanted further communication because you all had spoken. So I didn't think that it was proper for me to do that unless and until you all make a decision at tonight's meeting. So whether you're looking at 1, 2, or 3, there would need to be additional discussions.
so do you want to stick with the final offer, or do we want to have Mr. Gross go back and get more clarification on option 1 and option 2? Because we know option 3 will not work.
I'm good with that.
You good with what?
Going back.
Having Mr. Gross go back and get more clarification on option 1 and option 2.
Because we already invested also, right, $32,000. What would be, would it be another $32,000 for Colin to go out again, or we would have to
I
start the whole
understand
process?
what you're saying, but I want
Yeah.
to make sure we're getting the best person that we can get as well.
Oh,
Sometimes that costs money.
I have no doubt that he's the best person. I believe that he can do the job. I don't have any
I
doubt in his
don't
ability.
I don't think
But we
anyone up
talking about
here.
the money.
Thinks he can't do the job.
No, but she said, are we getting the best person? So I'm just saying what I think. I don't think that we're gonna get a better candidate, any better. But the issue
Well,
is,
let me make a
are we getting him for the
clarification. I
price
do think-
that you want?
I do think he's good, but I'm not sure if he's overqualified for us and is just a stepping
I agree.
right. And Commissioner Henry agrees.
I agree.
I'd like to go back and get some additional clarification before we make a final decision.
Yes.
So when you come back with us, have everything we need to know, and not say that, we don't understand some things.
Sure.
And I'm good with that.
And if
And I'm fine with that too.
and perhaps we could just set up a Zoom call with Mr. Bellichew for the next commission meeting as well, as he requested.
I would be fine with that.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that too.
I'm good with that also.
Okay. All right, we don't have
Busy.
anything else?
And I think that's it. Let me, my notes.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm done.
all right.
Happy 4th.
We would like to welcome Dr. Mosby to our community as the newly, well, soon to be, I don't know how his appointment works. He hadn't arrived officially, but we're happy to have him as a new president of Bethune-Cookman.
Hail Wildcats. Effective Monday,
Yes.
7/7/25.
Yes, and as Commissioner Reed pointed out, next week we will celebrate the birth 150th birthday of Dr. Bethune.
Sesquicentennial.
Both Bethune-Cookman will have a ceremony or program honoring her at 10 a.m. On Thursday, and we will have one at the statue at, is it 6:30 in the evening. So we want to invite the community out to celebrate the life and legacy of our icon, community icon, Dr. Bethune. Wanted to share, received a email correspondence from Farouk Husseini earlier in the week, and says Food Bring Hope community is honored to recognize and celebrate the remarkable academic strides made at Mainland High School's Change the Code, sponsored by Mayor Henry program. You all will remember that last year I celebrated profusely that of the students that they helped, 94.8% of them ended up, when they did their final calculation, having graduated high school. This year, the projected percentage is 97%. And the school, as you know, has been on a upward trajectory for the last several years, going from a C grade to a B grade, and it's looking very promising this year. The school district is, it's possible that they may have a grade for the first time in history. And if that happens, and if we have several of our schools, as I hope, to earn grades of A, it is my hope that we will be able to come back together and figure out how we can perhaps have some sort of commemorative celebration in the form of a parade that brings all of our schools in Daytona Beach together, with the flagship schools being those that have ascended to the A grade. And then we would just celebrate the entire community, because one of the most important aspects of any community is the performance of its public schools. And that is for a lot of reasons. One, you're not going to be successful if you're not graduating capable young people who can take over jobs in the future. Two, it's an attractive feature in a community when the schools earn designation or designated grades that families want to see. So if we will see in the next couple of weeks where everything shakes out, but it's looking very promising. And so as soon as we know, we'll come back and we can have a discussion as to how we can appropriately celebrate. But I believe that if the district gets an A and we have several A schools, we should be considering something big time. Because if we recall, we did such for state championships. And of course, as a 3-time state championship coach, I believed in that. But as one who has only been a part of one school in the history of my career that earned an A, I would certainly think that if the district can do it, and we got several schools that do it, let's do something big. That's it for Mainland High School. Happy 4th of July. We're looking forward to Friday morning celebrating the birth of our nation, and the Declaration of Independence, which is one of my favorite documents.
Mayor, can I say one
yes,
other
ma'am.
thing? We did have our meeting, staff and the manager and I, with Tunnels to Towers, and I think it's very promising. And I know the manager is having staff look at some things because they have a lot of different options. And I think this is going to be really good for our community.
Okay, great. Yes, sir. No?
Just something real briefly. I want to talk about planning our next steps on the redistricting ordinance. We were going to have a workshop today. It was canceled because I don't think the consultant was ready. He would be ready to have a workshop anytime after. I would suggest that we try to have a workshop next Wednesday, the 9th at 5:30. And if all went well at that workshop, that would leave us in a position, depending upon what you all decided in terms of maps, to perhaps have first reading of the ordinance August 6th and second reading of the ordinance on August 20th. I don't know what everybody's availability is, if you'd be willing. My understanding is that a good time for that workshop might be 5:30, and that's what I would suggest, if that would be. Okay, so then, with everybody's, yes, Commissioner?
I'm looking because that's when this 150 birthday celebration's at 6:30.
It's the next day.
Oh, it's
the
the
10th,
next day.
Thursday.
Never mind. I'm available.
Okay.
I will be out of town,
So will I in Arizona.
but I can possibly attend remotely.
Well, the other alternative is to proceed to do a workshop first meeting in August, which would be the 6th. Then have the ordinance on first reading, second meeting in August, second reading, first meeting in September. We can do it that way
We can do it
too.
that way? Well, that's probably best then.
So my other question for y'all would be, the price that was quoted by Mr. Spitzer had baked into it his presentation at least one workshop and your meetings via Zoom. And I didn't know if one or more of you might want him to attend personally. There would be an extra charge for him to do that. And if not, then he would just appear remotely at the workshop and the readings of the ordinance.
I'd rather him come.
Me too. How much is the extra charge?
Well, it's $5,000. It's a standard fee. And just in,
Was 5,000 for him to come,
for him
as
to come here
opposed to it being
remote.
remote?
And remote is baked into the fee.
So it will be free for basically remote.
But at least during the workshop, it may be helpful, because there could be a lot of maps to discuss at that point.
That's a lot of money, but I believe, this is too important. You can't be skimpy now. We gotta get it done, get it right. Yeah, let him come.
Now, I do want to mention to you, the original contract price was, $25,000. There has been an $8,000 charge because the first set of electronic files that contained the data on the city boundaries that he received were in error, and he had to redo those. And baked into the proposal were initial individual meetings with you that were going to be by Zoom, but you all had expressed an interest in coming here, and so he did that. And so between the two of those things, that's already $8,000 more. I just wanted to mention that in the interest of full disclosure. But I will ask him if he's able to attend at the workshop, and maybe I would assume you would plan on him being here when the ordinance is on second reading and there's a public hearing. That would be another $10,000 for those two.
I don't know that we need him when the ordinance is, we need him to get prepared.
Workshop?
Because once we agree on it, we have to fight with the residents or the
Sure.
whoever's going to be in opposition, not him. Right?
What was the day of the workshop? Can we do it on the 16th of July for the meeting?
That's what she did. That's what he just.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
heard August.
Yeah.
Oh, August. No, we can't do it on the 16th. That's the workshop. He's going to come for the workshop on the 16th.
Well,
The first reading would be August, right?
I have a confession. When I was throwing out the alternatives and I proposed July 9th for a workshop, I managed to forget that we have another meeting in July. So we could certainly do a workshop on July, not for the meeting on July 16th.
That's what I.
Okay.
No, yet.
There are 5 Wednesdays in
I think we all should be here. I mean, especially if we're paying for him to come as
Sure.
well.
Does everybody think they're going to be able to be here on the 6th of August, which would be the next commission meeting for
So
a
we would have
workshop?
the workshop before the commission.
Right, and then we'd go to first reading, next meeting,
I'm fine
assuming
with
everything
that.
went well.
First day of school.
Well, you just back at school. No students are there yet.
Huh?
No students are there yet. You're too big to make it.
I need a nap
Yeah, she gonna need a nap.
after the first day of school.
That's not the first day of school.
That is the first day
Well,
for
and
teachers.
So the alternative,
No.
we could also have a workshop on July 23rd, which is the Wednesday following the next commission
Yeah, there are
meeting.
5 Wednesdays in July.
Right. So does everybody have a clear calendar on July 23rd?
I won't be here.
Okay.
Well, let's do it July 23rd.
She just said she won't be here.
Oh,
What about July 30th?
What about July 30th?
Why don't we just have the workshop?
Okay, so it sounds like,
Oh, I'm fine with it.
August
She's
6th.
fine with it.
so we're going to have a
Yes.
workshop August 6th. That seems like the consensus. Okay.
She'll be fine. We have a commission meeting too.
August 6th at 4:30.
30-minute workshop?
Yeah. Well, you're talking 5 o'clock, an hour. You're only gonna have an hour. This might take longer than an hour.
Oh, 4:30, yeah, the meeting start till 6. I'm thinking 5 o'clock.
Okay? It may, it just might. Yeah,
And would you say 4:30?
4:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Just have some food, because you're
Just
gonna have
have
some
food.
hangry commissioners. And, well, I'm ready for the fitness challenge. Mentioned food, he said Mayor's Fitness Challenge. I'm ready. I'm on my A game right now. I would like to mention that it's been 2 years, I believe right at 2 years since the anniversary of the tragic shooting that left Mr. John Birch and 2 others, including a family member of ours, deceased. And with that being said, Jenny reminded me of the beautiful watermelons that Mr. Birch brought us, and you guys will recall. They were seeded and lovely. So I think that she and I have been on this venting spree about expressing when we find seeded watermelons. So whenever you find a seeded watermelon anywhere in town, please post it. Because I value seeded watermelons, because I'm not sure what I'm getting in these creative watermelons that don't have seeds.
You ever had a yellow watermelon?
Often. Delicious. Had one the other day. So just my little love affair with watermelons. Okay. Any others? All right. This time we'll hear from the residents of Daytona Beach.
Okay, we're going to move on to the public comment forum. And during this time, citizens are allowed 3 minutes to speak on any topic. And our first speaker is Stacy Johnson. And on deck is Sandy Murphy.
Okay. All right. Good evening. I've seen you all before, so thank you for the opportunity to speak with you again today. I just want to start off with my name. Once again, I'm Stacy Johnson, and I am the director of Florida East Coast Supersonics Track and Field Club. And I'm here on behalf of the 8 dedicated youth athletes from our community who have qualified for the Junior Olympics in track and field. These athletes have trained tirelessly since January, rain or shine, early mornings and long weekends, all to earn a chance to compete on the national stage. We are incredibly proud of what they've accomplished so far. In fact, thanks to your support as well, in the past, one of our athletes placed in the top 8 nationally last year, which is Kamila Black. That kind of achievement doesn't just reflect personal excellence, it shines a light on the entire community. And this year, we're so close to making the trip a reality. Our goal is within reach. We just need an additional $7,000 to secure lodging and transportation for the week. We will depart July 26th and return on August the 3rd of this year, 2025. So time is of essence. Every dollar helps us get these kids to the opportunity they've worked so hard for. So we're asking for the council's support to help us close in this gap. With your help, we can send these young athletes to the Junior Olympics with confidence, pride, and the backing of a community that believes in them. Thank you again for your continued support, and it truly makes a difference. Once again, I brought some of the athletes from the 8 kids that actually qualified this season. We have Kamila Black. She actually last year at Junior Olympics placed top 8 in the turbo javelin. And this year she actually did third place in long jump at regionals. She placed in the 400 meters. She wasn't expecting to do it, but she actually placed fifth in the 400, so she qualified for that. And she also placed first in the turbo javelin. We have Chasman Black, and she actually is 9 years old. She placed second place in the 100 meter. We have King Daltrey. He's actually been with us for like 5 years or more, and this is his first Junior Olympics that he qualified for. And he placed second in the 100 meter, first in the long jump. I'm trying to remember everything by hand. He qualified for the 200, and he came in third in the 400. Second in the 400 meter. And then we have Jameer Roberts. He's going to the 6th grade. This is going to be his third time making it to Junior Olympics. And he's going to be competing in the turbo javelin and shot put. And he actually qualified top 5 at regional. So once again, thank you for your time. Turbo javelin and shot put, right? Yes, they have it on file.
So that'll be brought back for a resolution next meeting. Yeah.
Go ahead, Sandy.
They have 500 from me, but I'm not sure where it's going to come from. I'll send an email. If I don't, please remind me to send an email.
Okay.
Whether it's bike week or what. Okay.
Sandy Murphy, 136 Park Avenue. I had planned to talk about the Bike Week Master Plan. Since that's pulled from the agenda, I'd like to look at that in a broader sense. I looked through all the backup material. I read every piece of backup material that was sent out with the Bike Week thing. And what was striking is that in workshop number 1, in workshop number 2, and workshop number 3, along with the Mayor's Beachside Committee and the County Beachside Redevelopment Committee, the same things are recommended over and over and over. Lights, cleanliness, code compliance, visible and accessible parking, incentives to use properties 365 days out of the year. Since 2017, we've been trying to hit those same targets, and very little has moved along there. I feel it's time that we bring in a specialist, somebody who's really experienced with main streets, who knows how to turn things around, because obviously we don't have the time or focus to push this forward if we really want to see the change that we continue to talk about. So I would like to see all of you think through what we can afford to do to really put focus on this. We have some new businesses down there. Some things are coming in. It would be very timely to push that forward and take advantage of things that have started. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next speaker is Emily Nice, and on deck is Jenny Nazak.
Good evening, everyone. This will be very quick. I just wanted to give a shout out to Commissioner Cantu for her work on the TPO, Transportation Planning Organization, because she has worked tirelessly. And I can say that as the CAC member, thank you, Juanita, Commissioner, okay, that I have seen her work over the course of years, and she leaves no stone unturned. Recently, you may have seen the new palm trees going up on ISB. She worked very hard, pulled all the strings possible, and she was able to get an upgrade of our palm trees. And this is very important. Landscaping is the framework of our city, and especially on beachside, where we need shade, we need a look, we need a brand. And Commissioner Cantu was able to advocate for better palm trees than what we were going to get, because we were going to get a type of palm tree that sheds its palm fronds with every slight wind that looks like a mess, and it would have been a huge mistake. So I just wanted to thank her for her work, because I think it looks great out there. And if anyone is also concerned about the other vegetation that's been planted, it all is hardy. Nowadays, FDOT promotes hardy plants so that they don't need as much water. So it should be a good look, and I am just very impressed and wanted to give her kudos. Thank you.
Thank you. You don't always give me
That's true.
Our final speaker is Jenny Nazak.
Good evening, everybody. Jenny Nazak, 501 Harvey. Have to talk about several important issues of dire importance of security and public health. One is absolutely the seeded watermelon. How do people get through the summer without watermelon? Answer, they don't. So when I started to be able to find watermelons with seeds in them, I was so relieved, and I will publicize them at every opportunity. If you don't have any, how do you plant more watermelons if it doesn't have any? Well, we know how. Someone else is controlling the seeds. You don't want someone else to control the seeds. No.
Yeah.
Now, another security issue. What's that? Walmart Road. Cool, cool. Well, there's also, I favor the guys with the trucks, like those truck guys, or the mango man was selling some watermelons, supposedly. I didn't investigate yet, but some rumors abound that there are multiple channels to procure this all-important summer wonder. Okay, another thing I would love to see is a chip factory. Are we talking electronics? No, my friends. We are talking about the potato chip. It's a serious security issue that we do not have our own potato chip production facility in Daytona Beach. Those potatoes get grown in Bunnell, and then they get shipped up north to potato chip factories up there. Now, this is not a resilient condition, so if anyone wants to start a potato chip factory, I will be very thrilled. But if someone doesn't, I might have to. And then on another public health note, my house, otherwise known as Jenny's Corner, many of you know that it's not only my domicile, but it's also a laboratory for various experiments in low footprint living. This house uses no air conditioning. It uses passive cooling measures such as awnings and shades and strategic opening and closing of windows that are studied from all different traditional cultures in various times and places. As the summers have gotten more intense and the nights of extreme perspiration have gotten more intense, this year we achieved some gains in coolness. We actually, inside the house, it was like all breezy for several nights in a row because of some really simple stuff like shading outside the window. Shades inside the window are effective, but if you don't give the sun a chance to even hit that window, it makes a huge difference. Now, I would hope that people would never have to do without air conditioning if they don't want to, but the things that we do can even reduce someone's bill if they use AC and may prevent the AC from getting overworked and breaking down. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
That's very important. Good night, Daytona Beach. Let's go be great. All right.